Hello friends, today I am explain horror movie name, SICCIN Part 1. I hope you like it. Let's go now. Without further delay. The movie starts with a ritual in which a person is doing very strange things. Now the scene cuts to a house where two girls are sitting waiting for someone and are also nervous. Suddenly, their eyes fall on a photo in which a ghost is levitating in the air. Honey, with the help of some spiritual power, is the person these two girls have come to meet a black magic practitioner or a devil? Now, whatever his name is, be like a woman. A woman takes these two girls to the person. Now, after coming to him, he asks them their names. Out of these two girls, the name of the girl on the left side is Alexander. Here, I have come to ask one thing, is the person I am going to marry right for me? The person I am going to marry is named Kudrat and he is the son of her aunt. Now, there is another girl with me. Who is she? Let me tell you, friends. She will be mentioned in part 2 of SICCIN, which will come very soon. He recites some mantras and throws some pieces of burnt coal into the water. He says that the spiritual power will answer you now. And the spiritual power inside the girl sitting next to Noor says that do not marry Kudrat at all. She will be the cause of your death. Always stay away from her. 12 years have passed. Month and year were 2009. A scene comes where Osner is having a lot of fights with a man. It turns out that it is none other than Kudrat, from whom the spiritual power had advised Noor to stay away. From their words, it is known that Osner is 4 months pregnant and the two of them were having an affair because Osner did not love Kudrat physically. That pregnancy also happened so that he could marry her. Then Kudrat pushes her in anger and her condition starts to deteriorate. The scene shows 3 people, Kudrat's wife, Nessa, and his blind daughter Jada. And a paralyzed mother-in-law who cannot do anything for herself calls Osnor a sister in this relationship because Kudrat was her distant brother. Baznor reaches the hospital where after regaining consciousness she realizes that her child is no longer in this world. She gets very angry with Kudrat and blames him for this accident and her problems. Kudrat becomes quite relaxed because Zunor was going to tell Kudrat's wife Misha and her daughter about their affair. They both argue a lot in the hospital too and Kudrat gives her an advice that stay away from me and my family or else I will tell everything to your father. Saying this, he leaves from there and another change will come. She says that you are my only love and no one else. In all this tension, Kudrat starts drinking alcohol and cigarettes every day. He returns home that night and is very worried. After sleeping, he has a dream that his daughter is with him in his own house. She is holding 2 eyes in both her hands and is saying, "Papa, put these in my eyes so that I can see you." After waking up from this terrifying dream, Kudrat regrets his mistake and says, "I wish I had taken my wife to the hospital that day, maybe she wouldn't be like this today." Now I will tell you a little story about Noor. As Ojah had said, she did not marry Kudrat and married Ali Ismail, who had died and now she was living with her mother-in-law as a widow. Kudrat discusses a little with her friend about her affair and then Noor's call comes saying don't call me and she was going angrily to the same Ojah where she had gone in the beginning and she was completely immersed in the madness of getting Kudrat. Even after Hoja forbade her, she had a word for Kadrit. Now here comes a scene between Jada and her mother. She is saying something that mommy something very bad has happened and you should not tell papa at all. This was the biggest toast of the movie and I understood from the beginning how the movie would turn here and I hope that my worthy subscribers who have seen this movie will also understand this and it definitely reaches a dark night. Now here is the owner with the money and gold bracelets kept by Ojah. Seeing Ojah, she says, "Do something that will make Kadri's mine and now it is a question of life and death." Hoja agrees and says that I will cast a puck spell on Kudrat's wife. This is the most evil witchcraft that only I can do. Hoja says that the devilish pocket is like us, Christians are Muslims, but one of them is the Ansar tribe that hates Muslims a lot. I have to convince a devil from this tribe to police Niza. As soon as Niza is policed, she and her blood relatives will die within 5 days and Kudrat will become hers. But will this happen? We will not know this until the end of the movie. Now I will tell you the reason for this puck spell. A puck will have to be cut and its intestines will be taken out. This means its intestines. Now this intestine will be wrapped in a dead evil one. Before wrapping the indus time on the shin bone, which is the bone of the foot, Oja will write some things that are contrary to the Quran. I will also need a drop of Nessa's blood, hair, nails, or something like that. And the most important thing is a photo of her. This is all being done to convince this demon. Noor agrees and says that I have no other way. So she goes straight to Qudrat's house to get all these things. When she reaches there, Qudrat is not in the house, which was a good thing for her. There, Qudrat's paralyzed mother sees some spiritual powers. Who was this? Wait for the second part of the skin for her. Until then, enjoy yourself. She pretends to be the owner of the second part of the first part and goes straight to the washroom because it was quite easy to get these things from the washroom. There she finds a youth sanitary pad, a hair comb and this. She leaves with the things but Qudrat meets her there and tells her not to come here again. She was once thinking that I should not do this to this girl. She felt sorry for her. Qudrat also has roots. Then her anger increased after seeing her and she straightened up and went to Ja. Here, the pad for summoning the demon is dipped in water. This water is poured into the vagina. Then it is wrapped around the dead person's shin and some prayers are made. Only the devil agrees and the next 5 days are like hell. There was another special thing for Qudrat's family that they are asked to mix Nessa's picture with dog food for 5 days. The terrible nights begin. From May 10th, a chest is brought to Qudrat's house where Jada is doing her grandmother's hair and suddenly she breathes a loud sigh and Jada makes her grandmother quiet. There, Qudrat is intoxicated with Nessa. She wakes up at 12 o'clock to pray her morning prayers and after praying she sees many sugar i.e. severed heads of pigs falling down. She gets very scared and the first night is over. But something terrible is coming. Now the next morning i.e. May 11th, suddenly Naza starts getting pudgy and starts cutting her daughter's doll and her own hair and eating them. At night, Nisa discusses all this with the nature and he scolds her calling her crazy. Later, Jada starts doing a lot of strange things with the doll. Now why she behaved like this will be known later and a vision comes from Noor. She also starts feeling strange. She goes to sleep at night and she sees her husband hitting his head against the wall. He says that it was because of your abir that I had cut myself like this. She wakes up and puts her foot on the floor. The same plaid gets stuck in her foot. Her husband was in her hands. Why was all this happening to her in her dream and why was Osnur seeing all these things? Now it's the afternoon of May 12th. She takes care of her breathing, cleans them and puts them in order to make a soup for them. After doing all this, Nessa goes to the bathroom to throw water. In the meantime, we see that Nessa's mother-in-law, who was paralyzed, starts walking under the control of spiritual power and pours the hot soup on herself. Then she goes home. We get married and everyone celebrates in the house and Noor also comes and shows sadness and inside she was quite happy. Jada was quite upset about this and is seen crying a lot. Qudrat was trying to go inside the house after smoking a cigarette outside but none of the keys worked. Suddenly, the gate opens and inside she hears her daughter's cries. Now they go inside. Qudrat's wife and Osnur scare him in the form of a spiritual force. Suddenly, his daughter Jada is also there. He gets very scared. That night ends and on the morning of May 13th, Qudrat listens to his wife Nessa. Qudrat says he will take help from a friend and goes to freeze. Here, the fairy was washing the steak body. Qudrat talks to them and says that something very bad is happening in my house. Please tell me that your wife has been possessed by a jinn in your house. This is a delusion and the work of a demonic jinn. It could be that either Bori Shakti has some problem with you or someone here has a problem with you and the people she has sent to pose your wife in these short please get ready to help them. Now on the night of May 13th, they come with 2 hands, one with Nessa and one with Onur. Nessa is seen eating bread with her mother-in-law Pai in the bathroom. She gets very scared in the washroom and then Kader takes her and says that tomorrow we will go to Preet's house. Don't worry. And then they're in Osnur's house. Osnur had just come out after taking a bath, but even then the light goes off there and there she is seen in the room. Nessa in the form of a devil was sitting with Osnor's 4-month-old baby Amrit, and that devil says a lot of bad words to her and goes downstairs. Now on the morning of May 14th, Onur talks about the reason why she tells this. I am having very strange and evil dreams, but Oja says that there is nothing to be afraid of if you are not related to Nessa. Now this is what happened from behind. Osnor's mother-in-law overhears. Nessa was fixing her daughter's dress at her house. Then Jada talks about going to her grandmother's hell and heaven, and Nessa poses and starts hanging herself. Here too, Jada's behavior was not good, so Kudur stops her from hanging herself, and Noor's mother-in-law tells them everything at home. Kudur leaves with his wife, and when Ja gets there, he has made all the preparations to get the jinn out. Now this is the night of May 14th, that is, the 5th day. So far only one person has died, but today all the decisions were going to be made and many secrets were going to be revealed. The scene is cut short and Osnor comes to Osnor. Osnor was having dinner. Suddenly, she feels something strange and the dinner plate suddenly falls. She turns into blood-filled worms, she vomits and many bubbles come out of her mouth. She goes to make a phone call to someone and suddenly she gets very scared when she sees someone and her whole body starts to go crooked. All her bones break and she dies a long time ago. They say that if you dig a hole for someone else, you can fall into it yourself. And this is what happened in Asnor's revenge. Now comes the final stage where the briefer makes Neza sit on a chair that was covered with Quranic books so that the jinn cannot get out of there. Now the beating of Neza begins. While beating, many things are done, such as pouring holy water on her and the jinn starts coming out. The jinn is in a lot of pain, but the press stabs her with a wooden weapon, saying, "Have faith, this will make the jinn come out." But suddenly, Neza dies. It will come but suddenly dies. The power of the spear starts to kill the priest in anger, but Jada was standing behind, being a poser. Yes, friends, now the biggest secret is revealed here. In fact, Osnor had mistakenly made Jada pose, not Nessa. The devil was just using Nessa. He did not want anyone to see it in front of him. Now what actually happened? Remember the scene in which I told you that Nessa and Jada were talking to each other that they should not tell mommy and daddy. That day, Jada's first menstrual cycle started. In the washroom, that sanitary pad belonged to no one, but to Jada. Osnor had asked for death for everyone, but she herself did not survive. From the beginning, the Anzar tribe inside Jada was responsible for all these accidents. He killed Nessa's mother-in-law, he killed Mesa himself, and the same thing happened to Huzor's death. Osnor had seen someone while he was dying and there was a plot, and then in the end she looks at her father in a devilish way and that movie ends. At the end of the picture, some subtitles have been given where it is written that this is a paste of a real story. For example, it was written there that a 44-year-old man, a 33-year-old woman and her 11-year-old daughter were found dead in a mosque. No one could find out the cause of their death, so all the suspense was put on the premise that was there. Now let's talk a little about what actually happened in the movie. In the beginning, a jinn and a friend of Noor came inside. I think that he was the same jinn and maybe he was hungry for a human soul. That's why he forbade her from marrying nature, and this they are created because the jinn at the beginning and the jinn after 12 years seemed quite similar to me. But what do you think about this? You must tell me in the comments section. And why did Noor die? Because the jinn who poses will have all his blood relatives die, that is, Jada's mother, grandmother, nature, her father, and Azrar, that is, her aunt. And this was the reason that Noor died in a very gruesome way, because she was the one who told the jinn to pose. If you liked the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel.